Hello and welcome to Health Matters on Channels Television. We are so glad you could join us. I am Mary Alale Yusuf. Cholera is an acute diarrheal disease which is caused by bacteria. The bacteria are contracted by ingesting contaminated food or water. It may occur with mild or no symptoms. This ancient disease spread from India to countries all over the world beginning at the 19th century and is now endemic in many nations. Every year, there are between 1.3 to 4 million cases of cholera, resulting in 21,000 to 143,000 deaths worldwide, making it a global public health threat. My guest on the show today is a consultant clinical microbiologist from Babcock University, Dr. Olushola Shobowale. Well, of course, you are being a doctor in Nigeria, you're also a member of the Nigeria Medical Association. We're expecting the return of the president any time now. And I just want to ask you, what does the enemy have to say about this? We have so many talented doctors. What does the enemy have to say about treating ailments here in Nigeria? Why do we keep having people leaving the country?
First and foremost, thank you for having me on the show. It's a pleasure to know that the president is returning back to the country from his medical vacation, and we wish him fullest recovery. Well, I can only speak as a personal doctor, private doctor, and that is that things hopefully will get better with the health sector in Nigeria. It's not yet uhuru, but we believe that as time passes by, some of these drains we are having in terms of medical tourism will be reversed, hopefully in the not too distant future. It's not perfect, but looking at where we were some years back and where we are now, arguably some might say that there might be some improvement. I like to see the glass as being half full. So I want to, stick out my neck and say that with the current crop of healthcare professionals we have and some subtle investment in the health sector, I think that there's a silver lining in the grey cloud. Yeah, that's my viewpoint.
What would you say really is the major problem? Is it the tourism, the medical tourism, or the lack of facilities?
Well, it's multifactorial. You've got to look at things like confidence, in healthcare facilities. You've got to look at funding. You also have to consider even power generation, power, availability of power supply. All of these things, they fit into, how well effective the health system can be. It's like an intricate dance, so all the parts need to move together, But I think that, like I said at the beginning of the show, as the years will roll by, I want to hopefully believe that there will be some reversal of some of these negative indices.
Thank you so much for chipping that in. And let's go down to cholera. Now, cholera is hopefully something that can be handled here.
Oh, yes, definitely.
How is it transmitted?
Yes, cholera has been with us over the ages, like you said at the beginning of the show. And the means of transmission, or the mode, is what we call the fecal-oral means, via ingesting contaminated food or contaminated water that has been contaminated with the feces of people that have the cholera organism known as Vibrio cholerae in their stool. So when you have a mixage of underground water or drinking water or water supplies with the feces of these infected people that contains the organism Vibrio cholerae, then you have people coming down with cholera.
Are you saying that some of these water might actually be running in people's taps?
When you have a breakdown of safe water supply, the key word there is safe. When you have a breakdown of safe water supply, you could have this happening. We've seen it happen in Haiti in 2010. We've seen it happen in India, over and over again, and some other parts of Asia, where you have a breakdown in sanitary disposal of feces and an admixture of these sewage disposals and
especially when we have floods like this, right?
Exactly. When you have floods, so you see you have water on the table water, admixture of this with water from sewage from septic tanks, and then they could inadvertently get in contact with public health supplies. You could have such occurrences.
When data say mild or no symptoms, what does that mean? Because we know at least there's diarrhea.
Yeah. You know, cholera could present as being mild, it could be severe, it could also be moderate. The severe forms when the person loses a huge volume of fluid within a short period of time. Some have said up to 10% of total body water. It's like you open a tap and then it gushes out. When you have severe diarrhea or severe cholera, the patient will have symptoms. When you have mild diarrhea, the person might not really come down with the classical symptoms that you would expect to see. And that brings me to the symptomatology.
Classical symptoms, yes.
For severe for cholera, there's what we all tout as the rice water stool. And then, of course, the person could have muscle aches, muscle cramps, the tongue is dry, the person feels drowsy or weak, a very weak voice. In light-skinned individuals, there's this bluish discoloration on the skin. So,
does that mean lack of oxygen supply?
Yeah, well, when you have